This video is about what is yoga. Now, what is yoga? What is the higher purpose of yoga? What it is actually means? Someone says, finding self or self-realization. We know the literal meaning of yoga is union. This word is come from Sanskrit word, yoj. But union with what? What are we trying to connect here with it? Some people do say the definition as yoga is connecting the body, mind and soul. So we are connecting these three elements together. Is that what yoga means? Let me ask a question. It is possible to connect something which is already connected? We know very well that our body and mind are constantly connected. You can see that in times like you stress out, it shows up in your body, right? Like your hands are stable and your heart rate is increased. So it shows very well in the body. So your body and mind are constantly connected. So what are we trying to connect here with it? Are we connecting the body-mind complex with soul? That what it is means. We need to think and talk about it in this record. Let's see the definitions as given in ancient Indian scriptures to understand what is exactly yoga, what this means to find yourself and self-realization. In Indian mythology, there are having several stories on treasure hunt. As a child, many of you would hear that story. In order to find the treasure, one has to cross the 7 oceans, 7 mountains, 7 forests, and they finally reach the treasure. So one has to cross all these hurdles and obstacles in order to reach the treasure. Finding self is like that. One has to cross the several obstacles and several hurdles in order to find your own self. So in order to undergo this journey, one need a tool, right? For crossing the obstacles and hurdles. One need a tool and one need a vehicle to travel. And that vehicle is yoga. Let us see the definition of yoga as per ancient scripture. There are simple definition and there are complex definition. We are going to see 3 important definitions. The first definition is from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, it says, Samatvam, Yoga, Uchyate. Now, what is Samatvam, Yoga, Uchyate? It means evenness of mind is yoga. Our mind is constantly reacting what is happening around us. When there is a happy action, it begins out happy feeling from us and the body reacts accordingly. At the same time, when the sad experience, then we go to the detached state. We do not talk to people and mind goes to that and body reacts to these situations. So the job of the mind is constantly monitor you, constantly mind you and your experience and to react or manifest in the form of 3 things. That is thoughts, words and action. So the job of the mind is constantly mind you, it's constantly monitor you and react or manifest in the form of 3 things. That is thoughts, words and action. Now let us take an example. Assume you are in the traffic situation where you are driving a car or any other vehicle and there is a traffic violator. According to you, the other person is the violator. You get into so much anger, you cannot accept the situation. So this reaction is temperamenting. Your body has to be show expedient, right? So first option, you either show that in form of action, meaning like you immediately call a police or you get to the fight. So something of your action is exhibited, right? Assuming you have good control of action, you are not showing up any action. Then people would do in the form of words. Like you yell at them, you can show harsh words or something to exhibit your anger. Assuming you have a fair amount of control on that also. You do not create any action, you did not do any shouting at that person. But still the thoughts, that is something like you cannot escape with that. You have the thoughts when there is an unacceptable situation. If you accept it, then there is no disturbance. So when it is an unacceptable situation, then the thoughts come so much that your state of mind is disturbed. Your evenness of mind is disturbed. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. If you have the ability to keep the mind in a state of evenness, in a state of balance, then you said to be in a state of yoga. How do we do that? Your mind can be controlled at body level using asana practice. Your mind can be controlled by breath level using pranayama practice. And your senses and your mind affections are controlled by using several stages of meditation. The mind is made up of 3 gunas. They call it 3 characters or 3 gunas. In fact, not only the mind, every matter in the world, in the universe, are made up of these 3 gunas. And that 3 gunas are Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. 3 gunas, that is Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. Now what is Rajas? The Rajas is a one that gives you energy for running and working, but when the same time the Rajas is very high, it goes out of balance. Then it causes restlessness in mind. You tend to take decisions very hastily. You tend to react the situation in the form of thoughts, words and action. You become restless in mind and you will not able to sit in one place. The second one is Tamas. It stands for inertia. You are able to sit in one place because of the tamas you have. You are able to sleep at night because of tamas. So you all need all these 3 gunas. But which one is dominant? Based upon mind actively react to the particular situations. When the tamas is high, what happens? You will feel very lethargy, very dull at mind. You sit in one place for a longer period. So that is a state of tamas. The third guna is sattva. The sattva stands for illumination. If you high in sattva, your mental clarity is high. You are able to take decisions wisely, chooses your words and actions wisely. The reactions and expressions happening around you will be able to do things very effectively. So when the sattva is high, and that is the guna, of course we need all these 3 gunas. We need good amount of rajas to get some work done. But in order to do that work very effectively, very efficiently, you need sattva. So how do we achieve that? Assuming you are high in rajas, when you high in rajas, so when you do good amount of asana practice, your rajas comes down. Then what you are left with is the tamas and sattva. So in order to bring the tamas down, you do a good amount of pranayama practice. The tamas also comes down. What you are left with is the good amount of sattva. Then you become sattva dominant. So if you are sattva dominant, then achieving evenness of mind very easily, as given by the definition of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. The mind reaches the state of evenness without the polarities, without no reacting to the situations. The mind reaches the state of calmness. We have completed the definition of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Now we go to the second definition. This definition is from Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. We say about the second definition of yoga is from Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, number 2, chapter 1, it says, Yogah Chitta Vritti Nirodhah. Yogah Chitta Vritti Nirodhah. That means, yoga is the ability to retain the activities of the mind. Here the activities, that means the thought patterns that arises to various reactions. Let us take the definition of Yogah Chitta Vritti Nirodhah. By word, the first word is chitta. Chitta means, the letter meaning of chitta is mind. The word chitta comes from root word chit. Chit means inner consciousness. The mind plays several roles. We all play several roles. I could be a student, I could be an artist, I could be a content creator. Likewise, the mind also plays several roles. When it represents a chit, that is the inner consciousness, then it calls chitta. The various definition of chitta is chitto bhava chittam, meaning that which behaves or thinks like it is a chit, but it is not a chit. It is not a inner consciousness. Whereas due to close proximity to the chit, mind is like a screen which is very closely attached to the chit. It behaves as if it is the chit, whereas it is not a inner consciousness. Whereas mind is like a instrument or a central processing unit, all the informations that you receive through your senses. It is a software of a physical brain. This chit has several faculties. They are manas, ahamkara, buddhi. The meaning of manas. Manas is the outermost part of the mind, and ahamkara is the part of the mind that represents the ego. And buddhi means the intellectual part of the mind. Now, when you see an object, your outermost part will be first activated. That is manas. For an example, you see a car. First you are receiving the information according its color, according its brand, its features. All of these informations are receiving in your outermost part of the brain, and that is manas. Then the input enters the second level, that is amhara. Every object that attached with the asanas. I look at the car. Oh, this is my car. I selected this color. I know everything about these features. I earned money and buy this car. So attaching asanas to that particular object. Then the third level is innermost level. It's entering into the buddhi level, where it is analyzes the local explanation or any type of analytical cycles, all through happen in the buddhi level. Sometimes the amhara will be overpowered and the input does not enter to the buddhi level. And also that is why sometimes decisions are made at egoistic level rather the buddhi level. The next word in the definition is Yogah Chitta Vritti Nirodhah is vritti. V means the thought pattern of the mind and the mental modification of the mind, or we say mental fluctuation of the mind due to various it's happening around us. Okay, one research that was done by the Laboratory of Neuroimaging in University of Southern California. An average man has about 48.6 thoughts per minute. So this vritti, that is thought patterns. The thoughts, it is the result of something would be happen in your life earlier, which comes from your memory. It could be something that's going to happen in your future, which is called as vritti. That is the imagination. What is going to happen tomorrow? What is going to happen 1 year from now? It could be also the kind of mental fluctuation that is arising from due to deep sleep, and that is called nidra. So once you understand what are the different types of vritti, that you know like how to control it, then come to the last word in the sloga, that is Nirodha. Nirodha means complete retrain from any activity of your mind. If one gets a ability to retrain the entire activity of mind, then at the point of the time, the inner consciousness shines through the screen of the chitta. This chitta, the mind, having several stages of existence, they are called chitta bhumis. Chitta bhumis, as per Vyasa's commentary of Yoga Sutra. Vyasa has given different stages of mind because the mind is not a constant thing. It keeps on changing. Because of the mind, the product of the matter is prakriti. As per the Indian philosophy of Samkhya, the mind keeps on changing like a banana. If you keep a banana, it do not stay like that. Due to the surrounding, it keeps on changing. Likewise, the mind also keeps on changing. The different stages of mind, the chitta bhumis, that is Shipla, Muda, Vikshipta, Ekagrata, Nirodha. First, Shipla means distracted mind. It also called as monkey mind. Your mind keeps on changing the work. Your mind do not concentrate in the one work. The second one is Muda, full of letharginess, and that is buffalo mind. And Vikshipta, you are partially concentrated and partially distracted. The Ekagrata is the one-pointedness, and the last one, Nirodha. Nirodha means complete retrain of mind. Your focus become one with the particular object. You forget about yourself and one with the particular object. This is called Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Your chosen object is soul, and you become one with the particular soul. Let us see another definition of yoga, that is Yajñavakya Samhita is one of the ancient Hatha Yoga texts. This is where we understand yoga is called as union. The Yajñavakya Samhita is the Hatha Yoga text based on the discussion between the sage Yajñavakya and his wife Gargi. This says the yoga is the culmination between the inner consciousness, that is Jivatma, and with the higher consciousness, that is Paramatma. For example, imagine the higher consciousness is the light providing entire universe. Imagine the inner consciousness is the light bulb. This light bulb surrounded by a gaseous screen. The gaseous screen is the mind. It was polluted by the mental applicants, thoughts, impressions. This all covering our inner consciousness. And no opportunity to merge with the higher consciousness. You clearing these impurities by yoga, that is Chitta Vritti Nirodhah, and easily the inner consciousness merge with the higher consciousness. From this all definitions, we clear that yoga is nothing but reaching the higher state of mind, where you take the mind, the purest form, like the crystal, so the inner consciousness shines through it. It is a long journey. Where do we start? As Bhagavad Gita rightly says, it's the journey of the soul, to the soul, through the soul. As Patanjali says, start with yogic practice, start with Ashtanga Yoga path, clearing the impurities on mind, and work on your thoughts. Thank you.